In this video, I'm going to show you the only way to use cardio to lose fat. You've probably heard this before. If you want to lose weight, go for a run. Or maybe you're now hearing the opposite. Cardio is a waste of time. So who do you believe? In this video, I'm going to break down what the science says about using cardio for fat loss. I'm also going to give you the exact cardio blueprint I used to lose 3 stone in 6 months working from home, and what I now use with my clients to get results like this without spending hours on the treadmill. Stick around to the end and you'll understand cardio better than 90% of personal trainers. So first we need to address the golden question. What is the best form of cardio to lose fat? And this is going to be determined by the intensity. Do you remember those old school fat burning charts you used to see on treadmills? Well, turns out there's actually some science behind it. Kind of. Depending on how intense your cardio is, it will switch between burning fats and burning carbs as the energy source. So I want to share this chart with you. This chart is going to explain, depending on the intensity, you will be able to burn more calories from either fats or carbohydrates. So on the left, you can see the heart rate starting at 72 beats per minute, going to 127 beats per minute, to 138, 144, all the way to 153. Now, the next column is going to show you the percentage of calories coming from fat and the percentage of calories coming from carbs. As you can see, at a relatively low heart rate, almost at rest, a large percentage of your calories, 78.2%, is coming from fat and 21.8% is coming from carbohydrates. However, when you're at 127 beats per minute, that changes to 40.8% coming from fat and the 59.2% coming from carbs. The trend continues, with the story being that the higher beats per minute, aka the more intense the cardio, the higher percentage that the calories are burned from carbs instead of fats. But that's not everything. We also need to understand how many calories we're burning a minute. As you would expect, the higher your heart rate, the more calories you'll burn per minute. Seems pretty obvious, right? But this is where things get interesting. At 72 beats per minute, we see that we're burning 1.1 of total calories coming mainly from fats and only 0.3 calories coming from carbs out of the whole 1.4. As we get to the 127 beats per minute, that increases to 4.7 calories coming from fats compared to the 4.8 coming from carbs. And then 127 beats, it gets as high as 5 calories per minute from fats and 8.4 per minute. So what can we take away from this? Our body burns the most amount of calories from fats, coming in at that sweet spot of 127 to 138 beats per minute. And this is what we call zone 2 cardio. But it's not that simple. And here's what throws a spanner in the works. And don't blame me, blame Mr. Herman. As we've just seen, cardio clearly burns calories. But it's not as effective as most people think when it comes to losing fat. At least in the way most people do. And here's why. If you'd done 300 calories worth of cardio, you'd think you'd burn 300 more calories that day. Right? Well, in 2016, researcher Herbert Poir researched this and published what is known as the constrained energy model. What it showed, the more calories you burn through doing cardio, the more your body will try and save energy and burn less calories throughout the rest of the day to save up on those fat stores. And it does this subconsciously by taking less steps, by moving your hands less when you're talking, and not to mention making you more peckish. People tend to subconsciously eat more food in response to doing cardio, to the point that 300 calories you burnt doing cardio effectively is now nilled out. This compensation effect is real and it's well documented. Look, I get it. This is getting a little bit confusing and you're probably quite frustrated right now. But I wanted to give you all the science we know today before I give you the ultimate cardio plan for you to lose fat. Okay, so we saw the data earlier at how many calories of fat and how many calories of carbs are burned at different intensities. And that's all well and good in theory, but how does it actually translate to the real world? Well, thankfully they've done studies comparing individuals between 2 types of training, high intensity and low intensity. High intensity being things like sprints, high bike intervals, and low intensity being things like incline walking and moderate biking. The guys in the first one averaged 30 minutes of high intensity training a week. The other group, 120 minutes of low to moderate intensity. Results? 0 difference. And it gets even more confusing. Over the 8 weeks this was done, only 0.5 pounds of fat was lost. So it's safe to say cardio alone is not very effective for fat loss. Now, as you diet, your body will need to burn something off for energy. It can either use fat or it can use muscle. And here's why it's so important to prioritize resistance training over cardio. Although lifting weights doesn't actually burn that many calories as cardio would, it gives your body a strong reason to hold on to that muscle and to burn off the fat as energy instead. And studies agree, showing that a combination of diet and resistance training is one of the best ways to lose fat, even better than diet and cardio. Think of fat loss as a combination of dieting and resistance training, with cardio as a supplement to speed things up. It's like when you're saving up to buy something. You first want to make sure you're saving up enough money and not overspending every month before you start worrying about the interest rate on your bank account.
Punch that 4-digit PIN number into the keypad.
So, how much cardio a week? Start with averaging 7,000 steps a day and combine that with being in a calorie deficit and resistance training. And once and only once you are consistent with that, then you can start to think about adding 20 to 30 minutes of cardio in 2 to 3 times a week to start to speed things up and improve your heart health. Or just add more steps. And then from there, once your body starts to adapt and that weight loss starts to slow down, you can either add more steps or add in a bit more cardio. Keep repeating this process until you reach your desired body fat level. Now, before you think I hate cardio, remember, this video was about cardio for fat loss. Cardio is 100% something you should be aspiring to do. The scientific data tells us we need anywhere from 150 to 200 minutes of zone 2 cardio a week. This is going to be important for cardiovascular health, cerebrovascular health, and a number of other health benefits which are going to be important for your health span and for your lifespan. But cardio is not something you should be doing just for fat loss. Now, if fat loss is your main goal, make sure you watch this video next. And make sure to drop me a subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.